Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Would you like even more content? Here's my Patreon. Now onto the stories. Case file number 10,018, written by RaroDannyR, the world's coziest glitch. Alright, so about a year ago, I bought my favorite sweater. I've been consistently wearing this sweater, and I'm obsessed with it. Polyester material, shiny, athletic, etc. So about 2 to 3 months ago, it suddenly disappeared. We do not live in a huge house, so stuff doesn't just disappear. I tried searching for it in my gym, school, etc. Suddenly, today, during laundry, I found it like nothing, right on top of the laundry. I told my wife. She said I probably accidentally found it while cleaning. I cleaned our room yesterday. Note, we always clean, so stuff doesn't go missing since our house is generally clean anyway. I don't take this as just brushing it off. How has my favorite sweater missing for 3 months with recognizable design, material, and look suddenly end up in the top of my laundry? I'm not just gonna brush this one off. Case notes are file 10,018, the world's coziest glitch. No, you shouldn't brush it off. It's not something you can just push to the side. Even though it's small, it's inexplicable. Short of the weirdest explanation, like someone broke in, stole your sweater, wore it for 3 months, and then brought it back. That doesn't make any sense. The only possible way I could try to explain this normally is one of your friends and family members came in, stole it, temporarily borrowed it, and then returned it. But that doesn't really make any sense to me. Is that something your friends and family would do? I don't think so. Short of that, it's just classic DOP. De-rendered from the universe and then reappeared on top of your laundry. The exact causes of de-render and reappearance is not known, but it is very clear that it happens often. Case file number 10,019, written by MuchBite9284. My dog is an imposter? My dog was whining to go outside. Mind you, it's about 3:30 in the morning, so I let him out into my fenced yard and stand at the door so he can do his business. He goes to the side of the house normally, so I don't think much of it. But after a minute, I call for him because it's cold and I want to sleep. The way my fence is set up is it runs the length of the house, but stops at the back and has a gate to go from the front/side yard to the backyard. The gate stays closed with a padlock and is about 8 foot tall. The reason I'm worried is because I clearly saw my dog go to the right side of my house when I let him out. And when I called him, he immediately popped out from the left side. There's absolutely no way I would not have seen him cross in front of me since I was kind of hurrying him. Also, when he was whining to go out, he was jumping around and happy, but after he came back, he stopped in front of my steps and sat down and just stared at me. This is very unusual for him. I had to go out and basically coax him into the house where he sat and stared at me from across the room until I put him in his room. Am I crazy, or did I just let something in my house that's not my dog? Did things just glitch, and he happened to just be on the other side after? He's been acting weird since he's come inside. My dog is going back and forth between the 2 doors to my bedroom and sniffing around them. This isn't his normal behavior since he knows he's not allowed in my room. My dog and I had a conversation, and I think we agreed that if he's a skinwalker, that he'll switch out with my real dog once in a while. Oh, and he won't kill me. Case notes are file 10,019. My dog is an imposter? I'm quite certain that your dog, your new dog, appreciates the no murder boundary setting discussion. It's important to be frank, right? Honest, clear about your expectations. No murder, and switching out occasionally with your real dog. Reasonable expectations, I would say. So in the comments, to further iterate your confusion, you mentioned that both gates were locked. So unless he somehow scaled the fence, went all the way around, scaled the other fence, and came back on that side, maybe he's not a skinwalker, and he just encountered this random space-time anomaly where he teleported a small distance. If they can teleport people miles away, then why not a few feet? Never ceases to amaze me. In the distances and the locations, they're always specific to the individual or even the pet in this case, if that's what happened. They have to be intentional. And is someone just messing with you? Is this like a TikTok video from the real universe where people prank people in the simulation and they have like millions of views in the real world? I could see that. Bonus file, written by Embarrassed Medium 153. My boyfriend's phone was stolen by Casper? About a month ago, my boyfriend and I were on the couch at our home watching a scary movie around 9 p.m. He has two phones, his personal cell and his work phone. Once we finished the movie, I said I was going to get the shower going and wait for him to join me after he called his daughter to tell her goodnight. He used his personal phone to call her, leaving his work phone on the couch alongside his personal one once he hung up. He came to check on me in the shower and told me he would be in after he grabbed some clothes and a towel. However, after going back to the bedroom to grab those, he noticed that his personal phone was missing from the couch. He was only gone for about a minute from the living room to the bathroom. He spent another 5 minutes looking for it everywhere in the house, even tried calling it from his work phone several times before giving up and getting into the shower with me. About 30 minutes pass. He tells me about the incident and we think nothing of it since I promised to help him find it after we got out. However, once we got out, we spent another 5 minutes tearing the house apart. Still nothing. He and I both called his personal phone several times, but we couldn't hear it anywhere. I finally have the idea to try and ping it using the shared location services. That's when it shows up, claiming to be in the neighbor's front yard? He thought I was joking with him, until I showed him my screen. Neither of us had left the house. Both the front door and the back door still remained locked from when we got home earlier that day. I thought he was actually the one pranking me. He promised he wasn't. I stood in the doorway as he got a jacket on and went outside with his work phone, using it as a flashlight and to call his personal phone. He looked for it for a while, but then I watched as he bent down, dug in our neighbor's bushes, and retrieved his flashing personal phone that lit up due to the incoming call. It had been raining and was very muddy, yet his phone was completely dry and seemingly untouched when he retrieved it. As he called it, the phone didn't make any sounds, just buzzed. Yet when he double-checked that he kept the ringer on, thinking it got turned off, it was on, as it should have been playing his ringtone, but it never did that the entire time we looked for it. To this day, we cannot explain how it never rang even with the ringer on, was still dry after sitting in the rain and mud for about 40 minutes total, and how it ended up buried in the neighbor's bushes. Ever since this incident with the phone, more strange things have happened. Things have been knocked over in the middle of the night, I hear footsteps when I'm home alone, see things out of the corner of my eyes, and the scariest one yet, we have light fixtures that you click on and off like flat buttons, not the switches. He and I were sitting on the couch in the living room when all of a sudden the lights in the dining room began to turn on and off. The creepy part was that the buttons were being clicked rapidly and loudly too. I would have chalked it up to faulty wiring if it was just the lights going crazy, but the buttons were physically being pressed and making noise too, as if someone was pressing it on and off very quickly. He said he has never experienced anything like this in this house before. It started happening after I moved in. After reading some comments, I'm beginning to think it's some sort of entity. It might be attached to me. I've had other mysterious experiences before, too. Case notes for the bonus file. My boyfriend's phone was stolen by Casper? Yeah, it's a mischievous little Casper you have on your hands, and all these pranksters, these spirits, they embody me if I die and become a fragment of a soul. Now, is it attached to you? Or maybe it's actually not just a prankster. Maybe it's a jealous ghost. Maybe you came into the picture, living with him in his house, and the ghost got jealous and wanted to have him all to him or herself. Maybe it's a female prankster-ish spirit. Could be. If it's a jealous person in real life before they died, then they would still be jealous as a spirit. So maybe they were attached to him in the house, not you. Or maybe it is attached to you and it's the same story. They're just jealous that now you're with someone else. And now time for the quote of the day. The master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. Stephen McCraney. We all have a history in our lives, all the trials and tribulations that we've faced. Part of those includes failures. You can't have success without failure. Virtually impossible. Don't let failure hold you down. Just embrace it, learn from it, and move on. You'll be better. And you have to do that to become a master. And don't fret. It's part of the natural journey. And like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.